So do you think,
Yeah.
I guess on that note, I mean, do
Yeah.
you think all of this has actually helped drive technology, like drive advancements in deploying broadband and any wireless, broad fiber, everything? Is it has this massive expansion effort actually helped propel us forward in the technology space?
Well, if you think about where we've come from just 9 years ago when Google Fiber announced their gigabit symmetrical service in Kansas City in 2013 to now, we have XGS-PON and capabilities of doing 10 gig symmetrical in different capacities. Providers are even looking, in commercial applications at 50 and 100 gig applications. So we've already made huge strides in bandwidth needs and also bandwidth capabilities. I remember at the beginning of the inception of Google Fiber, we couldn't even come up with enough reasons to have a gig, but we all wanted it. Now I'm at the
Game
same
of Thrones streaming constantly now.
Well, it's at the same time now. It's like if 10 gigs of capability, what in the world am I doing that with? But then you start to put together that so much of our worlds are out interconnected, and just like Duke was alluding to, the two different sides of this, the wireline fiber side and the 5G wireless component of this, are now competing for attention and competing for infrastructure, and that's it. Like you said, it's great and exciting for our industry, but it's nerve-wracking in trying to deliver the timelines and the expectations that our public demands.
I feel like a lot of the 10G stuff is probably coming. It's already in existence with the military. We just don't know what it is.
I have no news.
You're not allowed to know.
Yeah.
We'd have to kill you if we knew, right?
Alex knows, but he can't tell us.
Well, believe me, they don't tell me much, and they wouldn't want to.
So the interesting thing, though, is you look at the technology, at Alex's point on the technology on what services can provide. There have been advancements on the construction side as well for deployments. And the biggest one, honestly, is microtrenching. And I can tell you that I've been involved with microtrenching for many years. And for a long time, back in the early 2000s, when those things were really first getting developed, I remember talking to people that were asking about microtrenching. And I was very much an opponent of it because I saw some of the issues that we were going to have with it. Well, it is becoming more widely accepted. I would by no means say it is widely accepted. And I would also by no means say it's the solution that's going to push things forward, but it is yet another tool that we didn't have, back in the 90s and the early 2000s to really deploy. And there's still a lot of cities that aren't going to allow it. But again, it is something that we can use that may help with some of this deployment and help speed some things up. I mean, Google Fiber is probably the biggest, one of the biggest proponents of it because they've been doing that in a lot of markets, and it's getting fiber to the home into these markets fairly quickly. I mean, as quickly as you can expect, but it is by no means a magic wand, and it didn't solve all the problems, but it is another tool to use. So that technology has been advancing. And as that construction techniques gets older and older, we're starting to see certain things that really allow it to possibly be accepted more widely across the country. So there are things on the construction side too that are pushing technology, not just the technology on the for the services.